Okay, I'm an idiot. I was trying to get my mic to work, but I forgot that my mic has a mute button. Anyway, hi. Nice to see you guys. Um, so, I don't have a set idea for what this stream is going to be. I was mostly thinking of just hanging out and chilling because it's been a full day for me and the incredibly busy week. So I thought could be fun to just kind of hang out. Maybe if you guys have some questions about anything, I will try my best to answer them. Just thought we'd hang out for a bit. What do you think? Also, if like the background audio or something is too loud or too quiet, or I'm too loud or too quiet, please let me know because I am very much, comme tu dis, a noob at this. Do people still say that? I don't know. Anyway. It always surprises me when people like actually show up to my streams because it's not like I do very interesting things. Last time I got my ass kicked at Mass Effect. Anyway, to start things off, how have you guys been? I would love to hear. If you want to share, of course. Don't feel obligated to. Oh man, I wish I could speak French. That would make my life indefinite so much easier. I wanted to use a big word, but that's not happening. Also, fair warning, if you hear any weird noises in the background, it's because my cat is being a menace against society. I love her dearly, but sometimes she really needs to chill. Okay, Zoe, that's a mood and a half. I'm very tired, but it's gonna be hard for me to sleep tonight because tomorrow's a very exciting day. Oh, hold on, I gotta post on Twitter that I'm streaming. Maybe more people will show if I actually promote myself. Hi, Candy! Hold on. Twitter, here I come. Hi, Sana! To the newcomers, this is just like a casual stream. I don't plan on playing any games or anything. I'm just gonna kind of hang out and chat, if that's okay. Juliet does indeed do that. I don't know how to properly phrase it. I'm also too white to be saying those things. There we go. This is kind of silly. I set up this whole Twitch account and everything, and I was even like trying to think of like how to make a layout because I'm an idiot. And now I just stream on YouTube. Make it make sense, I guess. But anyway, to the newcomers, I'll ask you guys too. How have you been? How was your day? Because mine was. Oh, why did I just shake? Hold on. Mine was busy. I just got my hair re-dyed and cut. Don't know if you guys can hear that, but that is the cat going crazy. What are you doing? Okay, as long as she's not destroying my furniture, it's all good. Do I tease something about the Mafia series, which you guys really seem to like? Do I tease something? Because I've seen people speculate in the comments. My hair is black and green, by the way. It's similarly cut to the character you see on screen currently. Not entirely the same, but similar enough. But back on the audio thing, I've seen people like speculate about who the rat is and what is gonna happen, and like I know what's gonna happen. You guys are gonna be very mad at me. Hi, Simol. I hope I pronounced that right. But All I'm gonna say is that it's gonna be one hell of a wild ride. It's gonna be the final episode because it's only 4 parts. But y'all are gonna hurt. That's all I'm saying. I wonder. Okay, that was unnecessary. I'm sorry. I'm still trying to figure things out. Well, thing is, and maybe I shouldn't say this because it like can spoil it for you if you are like me and you have very little self-control. But the scripts I use are publicly published and have been for a while now. So you could potentially spoil yourself if you go looking for them. If you don't, I'm gunning for next weekend. Hi, Ava. I was saying I'm gunning for next weekend for the final episode to be published. But I have a lot of stuff on the docket. I'm part of 2 big collabs, one of which the deadline is Halloween. The other one is in the works. There's no date given, but I've been fairly busy with both my IRL job and audios, so. But I'm gonna try and not keep you guys waiting too long with Frankie and Birdie. I'm gonna try my best to be a bit more timely, I guess. And I wanted to do a lot more stuff for Halloween itself, but you know, sometimes life gets in the way, you know. Speaking of Halloween, is there like, are you gonna go to like a party or are you spending it at home? Are you dressing up? If so, what are you gonna be? I would love to, hear it. Also, if there are any more questions about like audio stuff or like things of that nature, just go ahead and post it. I will try and get to it as expeditiously as I can. Damn, Crow's using the big words. Also promise that I'm gonna try and get my girlfriend on stream at one point. She also does audio stuff, but more Reddit based. But she was the voice in my ear for my very first stream on Twitch, and I would like to have her here too. Okay, the whole our country doesn't have Halloween. Baby, I understand that. My country also does not do Halloween. And as a queer person who loves everything spooky and spoopy, my soul crumbles every time I remember. We don't even get trick-or-treaters or anything. And if you want to do like anything Halloween related, you really have to go look for it. And usually it's like an amusement park or the odd Halloween walk, but it sucks. Let me dress. Well, technically I'm gonna dress up and potentially scare people because I'm going to a convention tomorrow and I'm cosplaying. Before I know that someone's gonna ask, so I'll say it before you have the chance to. I'm gonna be cosplaying Tomura Shigaraki. I don't know why that was suddenly so hard to say. I'm gonna cosplay Shigaraki from My Hero Academia. Him in a suit and the trench coat. So, you know, that does have potential of scaring people. Also, apologies if this is just entirely unhinged. Me speaking coherently in any way, shape, or form does not. It is a surprise that my improvised audios are as coherent as they are, because me and talking doesn't always work out. There's also a really awkward delay between chat and what I'm saying, so I always feel like I'm playing catch up. Well, it's not a secret where I'm from, but I don't want to like constantly say it as well. Like, I do value my privacy. But I was part of a Eurovision collab where I represented my country. A part of it is actually on my YouTube channel. It's the Rivals one. And that giveaway where I was from. And people have pointed out my accent. I personally don't really hear it, or I don't think I have a super pronounced accent, but I know that I don't sound like a native English speaker. Kenny, I know you would hear me talk about everything. Where's my cat? Oh, okay. What is she doing? Okay, she's just being silly. I also do want to play games on stream again eventually, but life has been so busy that I just have not had the chutzpah to do that. Because I do still want to like stream Mass Effect and stuff like that, because it's one of my favorite games, but soon. Simone, that's cute. Well, there are people that have a lot more pronounced accent than mine. Mine is kind of like vague because I taught myself English watching American television, so. Though in high school we were forced to talk like this, and I was able to do a pretty decent English accent for a while. Again, like very, like, nondescript. There's no place I could place you, but this was how we had to talk in school, and I am not as good at an English accent anymore. But my favorite party trick is to just switch accent in the middle of a sentence. It always throws people for a loop. Well, that and like the cherry stem thing, I can also do that, but I can't necessarily show that, can I? I mean, I could, but I don't want to. So yeah, like, there are words that like plainly give away that I am not a native English speaker. Like anything French, I will automatically say like in a French accent, and there are stuff like, for example, one character from Overwatch I literally cannot pronounce differently, and that is Reinhardt. I literally cannot pronounce it normally, or like the American way. It always comes out as Reinhardt, and I don't know why. Speaking of, I should play Overwatch again. I've been trying to corral my girlfriend and my best friend into playing together, but adult schedules and playing games together, water and oil. Yeah, I said that right. I almost thought I said fire and oil. Ugh. Sorry, I spent time with a relative who smokes, and now I smell of cigarettes. Ugh, I'll have to shower later. Like, I'm probably not the only one who thinks this, but like cigarettes, the aesthetic, yes. Actual cigarettes and the smell, please stay away from me. Hi, pizza. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Zoe, I feel that. My IRL name is difficult to pronounce for people in my country. The only people that can say it correctly are my family, and it is a pain in the neck. My mom thought she was giving me a really great gift by naming me the thing she named. No, she did not. And funny thing is, she has the exact same problem. Because both of our names are English. I'm not going to give you guys too much as I guess, because, again, privacy. But both of our names are English. And she technically goes by a different name than her given name, but she got mad at me when I asked if I could do that. Make it make sense, I guess. Parents never make sense. Then let me see what's on the docket audio-wise, because I know that I want to get the Mafia series done with. Oh, nice. My girlfriend is also trans and she's gone through 3 names at this point. Right. Yeah, like, it's a pain in the neck. And the thing is, like, I can say it and people will hear an entirely different French name somehow, and they will never, like, write it correctly or say it correctly. I've just given up at this point. And my friends call me something else anyway, so it is what it is. Though, at this point, even my chosen name sounds weird to me because I'm so used to people calling me Crow at this point. Hey, Devin! The trans experience. Cycling through names like you cycle through underwear. Probably could have said that better, but I'm tired. God, I feel really silly right now. I'm looking at like my to-do list for audios, or like my idea list more than to-do list, though they are interchangeable at this point, I guess. And I want to do so many like cool and actually scary things for Halloween, and I've done exactly 0 because I got distracted and life happened. I do want to try and do more spooky stuff because, again, I like spooky things, even though I am an absolute baby when it comes to horror. But, you know, I like that kind of stuff. So, why am I not surprised that you went by that name? I genuinely considered changing my chosen name to Crow at one point. Because, you know, non-binary and all that. If you don't know, now you know. But I'm so, like, attached to my chosen name, partially because my girlfriend gave it to me. Excuse me. Bye, Ava. Also, just a heads up, this stream isn't going to be super long because I still have things to do in preparation for tomorrow. But I thought, considering that there's no video this weekend, though there usually is one, how about we just hang out for a bit? Well, Eclipse is a pretty cool name. Like, honestly, non-binary people either name themselves like really mundane things like Sock or like Alex or like something really simple, or like the coolest name you've ever heard. It's the same with like trans women and trans men. Like trans men will name themselves like Josh or like something like that, and like trans women will give themselves the most elegant and beautiful and sophisticated name like Eleanor or something like that. Well, my last name is a pretty normal one, all things considered, so that one they get right. My first name, forget about it. Though I do want to eventually change my last name potentially, but that's future stuff because I'll have to change every bit of paperwork, and I'm not looking forward to that. Also, I'll announce it here first, I guess, even though the audience for it is very small. Not that that matters, because it gives a very cozy feel. But come January, I am planning on opening commissions. Yeah, I'll make a proper announcement when that happens, but, you know, you guys get a little heads up, I guess. Sorry, I was reading chat. Oh, rolling R's, like in my native language you also roll them, but I don't feel like speaking my native language right now. Who with like 2 brain cells rubbed together names themselves Ralph. Like, that's the bully from The Simpsons, isn't it? Also, please tell me that Ron is not because of Harry Potter. Oh my god, I have the worst timing with yawning, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Also, again, if I'm like too loud or anything, or if the music is too soft, you let me know and I'll do my best to change it. In this case, please do tell me that Ramona is because of Scott Pilgrim. I actually had like a copy of the first volume of Scott Pilgrim, but across from me, or like in my street rather, because it's not necessarily across from me, there's like a little free library, and I was like, I have a lot of books. I have an obscene amount of books. And I was like thinning them out, I guess. And I was like, I never read this. I'm never gonna read this. So I just put it in there and it was gone the next day. I also gave up one of my many copies of Dracula. Me liking vampires? I think it's candy because like it's always hard for me to figure these things out. Because I technically have my stream open in like a different tab, but I have it muted. Just so I can keep an eye on things. Yeah, like I even, to go back on the books and all that for a sec, I even joined like a reading group in my city. It's a problem. And the first book we read was like about terrorism and like the conflict in Israel and Palestine. And I don't want to make this political. It's just the topic of the book, and I'm not gonna voice my opinion on either. But I just sat there and like, oh, this is gonna be like a nightmare of a conversation, especially if it's like mostly older people, because older people do sometimes tend to hold more conservative values. It's like, oh my god, this is gonna be a nightmare of a conversation. But we actually had a beautiful, nuanced conversation, and I learned a lot from these people that at least have a decade on me. But yeah, I'm forcing myself to go out more because the pandemic has made my hermit lifestyle even worse, and I'm trying to break that habit. I'm also going to go back to archery, if you haven't seen that on Twitter yet, and that is going to happen next Wednesday, and I am so excited. Devin, I'll be honest, I have not touched those books in months. I keep meaning to go back to it, and I don't know if it's because I'm reading them in my native language or Sarah J. Maas's prose is just so bad that I just can't. But like, genuinely, they feel like a chore. I get that people love them. I understand why they're so popular. But looking back at it and having thought about everything, it feels like those books could have gone through a few more rounds of editing. Because the idea is interesting. The world building is as interesting as it can get. It reads a little juvenile. And if you like ACOTAR, that's on you. Like, that's great. I'm happy that you draw enjoyment from them. I just am starting to think that it's not for me. I do want to get through all of them eventually just to see what the hubbub is about, but it's difficult for me to read, dog. I'm trying, but it's hard. And apparently, I don't know the full extent of it because I've been avoiding most drama. Apparently, she's not a great person, so believe that. Yeah, Zoe, ACOTAR is A Court of Thorns and Roses. It's a really popular book series by Sarah J. Maas. Devin, reading smut in my native language, I would rather lose the ability to read than do that again. It's so awkward. Like, dirty talk in my native language just does not work. And Um, I Yeah, it is a step above Twilight. It's about the same kind of like quality level, I'd say. And I don't really like Twilight, so that's probably why I'm having a rough time with ACOTAR. Um, but what was I saying? Right, when I just started my voice acting stuff, I just focused on Reddit, and I did a lot of not safe for work stuff catered towards men. I know, ironic considering that I'm a lesbian. Um, and I did a script for a script writer that I Goodbye, Simol. Yeah, I did a script for a scriptwriter I'd become friends with who also spoke my native language. And that entire thing was so uncomfortable. I I was really uncomfy, and even like going back and editing it, I just sat there and I cringed. And it sucks because the script was fun and I really like this script writer. I consider him a friend as much as you can be friends with someone who completely hides their identity. But I just feel really bad that I eventually just ended up deleting it as well. I deleted a lot of my older stuff that was for men because men do not know when to like stop. And I can guarantee you every single female or non-binary female presenting VA, and probably also the male VAs, can give you a story of someone just crossing boundaries and being really gross. It's unfortunate, but like it's universal standard with VAs. Someone will be gross to you. Bye, Devin. Have fun. Why am I yelling? No, like, I have... This kind of sounds so stupid. Like, I have nothing against men. And I know that men also consume my content, even if it's not meant for them. And I can't stop them from doing that, I understand. But I would prefer if men just not commented. Like, I cannot stop you from listening, but I can kindly ask you to leave me alone. Or to not comment. Unless it's like a 4A thing, or like it's obvious that it's like not for the girlies. But yeah, it is what it is, I guess. There's actually a really interesting podcast by Wicked Fairy on Reddit where she went into depth with two other VAs about, you know, how the experience is like as a VA. And it's about 2 hours long, so it's a lot to sit through, but I would suggest give it a listen. It's really interesting to see it from the other side of things if you're a listener. And I could very much sympathize with some of the things happening as a voice actor. Yeah, well, it's par for the course, especially if you post on Reddit. You will run into weird people. It's inevitable. Then why are you posting on Reddit, Crow? Because that's the only place I feel like I can post not safe for work content and not get like a slap on the wrist for it. I actually got into a minor spat with a VA who said that I should post on Pornhub. And I was like, no, baby, we're not doing that. Because in case you don't know, that specific site, not great. Not great. And they've hosted content that is illegal. I'm not going to go into depth. So I want to avoid attaching my name to that, you know? And like I said, like, listen, I also post, you know, content aimed at women, and I would prefer to not post in a place where men just kind of like, you know, are weird about it. And like, it felt like she was like, oh, she then said a thing that still rubs me the wrong way, and that is that men are the biggest consumers of lesbian not safe for work content. And I just sat there, like, the audacity. Like, I understand she's trying to help me, because if that works for her, that is great. That is fine. Good for her. I would rather not. Oh yeah, I also moderate the GWA Sapphic subreddit. If you are Sapphic, you can find a lot of content for you on there. But let me tell you, there are a bunch of people in there that say some out-of-pocket things. For example, the other day we had to delete a post by a minor asking for advice on how to hook up with his cousin. Like, baby boy, do we need to call the authorities? Do we need to call someone to check up on you? Because that is not okay. You need help. This took a turn. I'm sorry. I also apologize for my unhinged laugh. I can't help it. Either I sound like Velcro being ripped apart, or I sound like I'm about to just like go on a maniacal, megalomaniac destroying of the city bender. I will also admit, well, will I admit? I don't know. Yeah, no, Zoe, I can guarantee you there is a stark difference between the two. Also, hi Vivian, welcome. We're just kind of chatting and hanging out. If you have anything like you want to ask or whatever, tonight's the night. I will gladly answer any questions you have, audio-wise or other. Thanks, Candy and Zoe. But seriously, like I either sound like Velcro or just like maniacal. There is no in between. Well, there's a third option, and that is when I get really tickled. I just stop making noise and I look like I'm choking. I also have the horrible, horrible habit of laughing at the worst times. Because I was once, like, this happened years ago, but I was playing D&D with my then partner, my best friend, and my current girlfriend. And, like, my best friend was DMing, and he was in the middle of, like, explaining something important. And I don't know what happened, but I could not stop laughing. And I was trying to be quiet and, like, muffle my laugh because I didn't want to interrupt him, but I accidentally kept interrupting him. And I didn't know why I was laughing. And the more they pointed out, the harder I laughed. I look back at it as a fond memory, but at the time I was kind of mortified. Like, why can't I stop laughing? Sorry for the yawning. Oh man, that reminds me of another horrifying story of like when I laughed when I really, really shouldn't have. Um, yeah, I can see the comparison. That is entirely accidental, by the way. This character I've had for years. She's kind of changed when I changed. Her hair used to be longer, but I can see why where the comparison to Mavis comes from. Um, but back to my story. Uh, so a big tragedy had happened in my country, and it shocked all of us. And um, there like was a nationwide minute of silence, and this was when I was still in high school, and we all gathered outside on the playground, and we had to do the minute of silence, and I like had my head bowed, and then I looked up, and I saw like a guy in front of me doing something silly, and I just like went. And my best friend, or at the time, like damn near elbowed me in the ribs and like glared at me because big tragedy happened. Moment of silence. Why the fuck are you laughing? So that's lovely. Um, Also, I am. Well, I would say championing, but that's not the right word. I'm trying to like get people to be interested in a possible VA game of D&D. Think like what's it called? Critical Role, but with GWA talent, because I think that would be really funny. Um, like there was a group for it a while ago, but everyone was just really busy, and it just never ended up happening. And I want to make it happen. God dang it! Oh, Candy, that reminds me of another story of inappropriate laughter. So, in 2020, I lost my grandfather. He was a wonderful man. I love him dearly. I love him dearly. I still love him. Um, And one of his things was that he was a music buff, but like in a really weird way. Like he had a bunch of CDs and like vinyls, and he would know what song was like a quick one, or what song was like if you wanna like with the girl you like or the boy you like dance really close. Which in my language you call a tile shuffler. Because you know you stay in the same square tile the entire song. But anyway, so cut to the funeral. And my grandmother had picked 3 songs to be played, and they accidentally played the same song twice. And I lean to my sibling and I go, it's a good thing they cremated him, or he would have crawled out of his casket and he would have fixed the music himself. And me and my sibling were just like snickering in the back of like the hall where the funeral's being held. And I don't think my grandmother heard, because I think she would have been mad. But I think things like that are a much more fun way to kind of like honor the people that have passed than just like sit there and be sad the whole time. Because I don't think my granddad would have been able to stand the fact that we were all sad. Yeah, me and my brother were just cracking jokes the entire time. Zoe, I do that constantly and sometimes without realizing, until my girlfriend, who is very American, calls me out on it. Like, I didn't know that, like, don't shoot the bear's hide before you shoot it is, like, not a thing in English. Because I kept saying it in English, because it's a saying in my native language. And my girlfriend's like, what does that even mean? Like, wait, what? I've been saying this entire time and you have not said anything until now? Like, ma'am? Though I guess, like, the context or, like, what it means is, like, easy to decipher. Yeah, don't sell the bear's hide before you kill it. Zoe, I have a feeling we're from similar places. Because that is also one we say. Hi there. And I'm fine. Redid my hair today. Refreshed the green and the black, because the unfortunate thing is that I've been dyeing my hair black since I was a teenager, but my actual hair color is like lighter, so whenever like my roots grow out, it looks like I'm balding. It's the worst thing, especially because for work I always wear my hair in a ponytail, so I have it out of the way, so it looks like I'm just like losing hair. Oh, like Candy, that reminds me. One time, a classmate of mine in high school, his mom died before her time, and we were invited to the funeral because he needed our support. So I went, and they had only picked one song to be played, and like I was trying so hard not to laugh when fucking Bohemian Rhapsody started blaring. Okay, Zoe, then we're not from the same place, I think. Vivian, you kind of lost me there, sweetheart. I need to stop yawning, I'm sorry. It's not even that late. Okay. Well, we say similar things. It's probably because you also speak French that, you know, those things cross over. Because I am very much in the continent. No, not happening, Reem. I'm not doing a face reveal. I mean, at one point my face was kind of revealed, I guess, but I don't feel comfortable doing that anymore. Because I used to post, like lewd pictures of myself on my old account that has been deleted, but someone stole my pictures to make money off of them. So now I only post pictures in my Twitter circle or in places where I know people won't steal them. So for my own safety and comfort, I am not doing a face reveal. I've also seen what people did to Dream. I am not risking that. Thank you very much. It's whatever. I wasn't the only one too, because this person stole pictures from like multiple people. And like that little corner of the audiosphere went on a big crusade against this person. She ended up blocking us all. I tried to report her, but like for quote unquote identity theft, you have to give like your ID and stuff like that, which I don't feel comfortable giving that to Twitter. So I just kind of let it be, and eventually they did take the pictures down. Vivian, I am from Europe. It's technically not super difficult to figure out where I'm from, but I don't want to tell a lot of people. Like, I don't want it to be super common knowledge, but I am from Europe. Let's keep it there, shall we? Hi, Miss Bamboozlebat. That is a lovely name. I love that. Bamboozlebat. That is cute. That is adorable. I love that. I know, but my brother works in IT, and he made me and my mom a little paranoid when it comes to that stuff. Also, all of my accounts are two-factor identification and everything. But the funniest thing is I've never been like, people haven't tried to steal any of my accounts or like break into any of my accounts. The only place where that has happened is Archive of Our Own. That is the only account of mine that ever has been somewhat compromised because someone's trying to log into my AO3 account. So I changed my password and it stopped after that. But I kept getting emails of like, because I also write fanfic and I'm not gonna give you my username. I would rather bite off my own tongue. Also, hi Emily, welcome. I hope I said that right. Oh, I'm sorry. I think compromise is the right word for that at least. I don't know. It is almost 9 p.m. I am tired and my English is not very good right now. But yeah, I'll repeat it for the newcomers because I said it in the earlier parts of the stream. But the last the last episode of the Mafia series is hopefully coming out next weekend. So keep your peepers peeled. I was gonna wait a little longer, but considering how like I left it on a cliffhanger and people are like speculating and really excited, which makes me excited, I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do it a little earlier for you guys. Yeah, like read and write, because before I really poured myself into VA work, I also wrote like a shit ton of fanfic, and I think sometimes it does show in my audios. Yes, Frankie and Birdie's story will come to a close next weekend if things play out the way I want them to. Because it is only 4 episodes. There is a side series that focuses on Tony, but I'm considering maybe doing that one. We'll see. Because that one is a lot more explicit, and I will need guest voices, and I need to ask people about that. I don't either, Zoe. I just say it because other people say it. I'm glad you think Frankie and Birdie are cute. Actually, want to know a funny story? Well, to me, it's funny. So before I was a voice actor, I was a listener, and one of the first things that I listened to after like a long hiatus, because I only supported like 2 VAs, one of which I do not name. The other one is Kink Radio, who is a very, very talented and does a lot of fandom stuff, if that is something that you're interested in. Hi, Lara. But I started listening on GWA, and one of the first things I came across was What the Fuck Dude's rendition of the Mafia series, because it's actually gender flipped. I changed the gender so that it would work for a sapphic couple instead of a straight couple. And I remember listening to it and being so moved and like crying at one point and just like loving the way he did it. And there were other like story-driven stuff that I listened to that I really, really loved. Some of which has sadly been deleted because the VA has decided to quit, which a shame, but I respect that choice. And that also really motivated me. Like, I want to get into this. Like, I want to start doing VA work because I love telling stories. I love doing this. Like, the idea of it is really appealing to me. And it feels like it has come full circle at this point, that now I have done the audios that like, or like the scripts that have like inspired me to start doing this, you know? Speaking of, I feel like my voice is starting to go. Better drink some water then, I guess. Or whatever liquid I have closest, because I don't feel like getting up. But yeah, the author of the Mafia series is writing a script for me specifically. We are collabing. She's sadly really busy because of school, but I understand that. But she's writing a script for me specifically, and is going to be a murder mystery, so that is going to be very fun to do. And I have some other stuff that I'm working on. One Halloween collab. There's a big celebration collab that is probably going to be just for Reddit, considering that it's to celebrate the 1 million followers of GWA. What else is there that I'm doing? Right, I'm doing the witch audio eventually. I'll probably just like drag Halloween into November because I'm terrible at time management. What else was I gonna say? Like, I had a list of stuff I wanted to do, but, you know, I'll do it when I get to it, because, you know, life and an IRL job. I do want to try and make audio as my full-time job eventually, but it's a slow going. I'm technically not even, like, qualified for monetization yet. We're getting there, but I'm not quite there yet. But I do really, Oh, I'm sorry, Emily. I hope you get better soon. Sorry, Zoe's, like, confusion at the phrase keeping your eyes peeled is so funny. Vivian, I'm sorry I don't give that away to listeners. I also will never be making a Discord server because I have seen those go awry again and again. So sadly, Twitter and stuff is the only way that you can, like, Twitter and the comments and everything is the only way you can communicate with me and that I feel comfortable talking to listeners. Apologies. And true, spoopy vibes are always good, Candy. I really wanna, like, you know the vibes that the band Ghost has? I want to try and emulate those and like do something audio related to that. I've also been playing around with like lore to do with my my character that you see on screen right now. Because I already did like some sort of lewd art that implied something happened to her. But I would like to do something with that, which is also going to be kind of like spooky and a little darker. I'm a chicken too, Amelie. Like, I love spooky things. I am terrible with horror. And, Miss Bamboozle? Miss Bat? um, the Bostonian accent I have in my audios is terrible. Like, I feel so insecure about doing it because, one, I'm not a native English speaker. Two, I feel like I sound like a joke. Like, I try to listen to a lot of, like, redacted audios, Milo things before I try and do, like, Frankie stuff because, you know, I want to try and do the accent, even though he's also very insecure about his accents. Well, non-existent. What about, like, a sort of, like, serial unaliver thing for Halloween? Like, literally giving a person a heart or something like that. It is Valentine themed, just, like, gory. I mean, not that I'm gonna do that. I don't even know what I would do for Halloween, for Valentine's Day. Honestly, the only thing I can confidently say with, like, a East Coast accent is sweet hot. Not sure what you... Oh, yeah. The SPV. I am gonna continue that. I will admit it has fallen to the background. I have 2 more audios planned out. I was writing the script for one, but I kind of lost track, I guess. I do want to get back to it, but it'll take a minute. Besides, people really seem to like the Mafia series, and that had like a set ending, so I was like, okay, let's finish this first, and then we'll pour some more time and energy into the SPV. Speaking of, I'm actually gonna go take a quick peek at my script. SPV part 4. No, this was not the one I needed. It was part 5, I think. I don't remember my own audios. I don't, actually. I did mention earlier that I'm cosplaying tomorrow for a convention, so I guess that counts. What was... Okay. Okay, one thing that I will give away about the next Succubus Listener episode is that it's going to be a little more angsty. Oh yeah, you do not want to hear me after I've watched a lot of Jacksepticeye. I love that man, but I'm a sponge when it comes to accents, and I will just end up sounding vaguely Irish. Yeah, like, the SPV is very much like... Sorry that I'm hopping from thing to thing, but the SPV is, like, definitely something that I want to, like, keep doing and pouring energy into, but I want to do it at my pace. It may not be the pace that listeners want, but I want to, like, make sure that it's a good thing, that I'm putting out good content. And if that means I take it slower,
then we're gonna take it slower. But yeah, there will be angst. I'm gonna try and push the story a little more forward because I feel like it's starting to stagnate just a little bit. But there will also be like 4 characters in it, and that is going to be a nightmare to edit. Well, yeah, I would hope you sound Irish if you're from Ireland. Oh, well, I'm actually really glad that people seem to like it, at least on YouTube. On Reddit, it's not getting a lot of traction. But yeah, yes, Supernatural and Paranormal Vanguard. I just literally threw words together because they sounded cool. Don't pay too close attention to it. I have no redacted audios. Not everything has meaning. But yeah, like I have some more stuff planned out, and I want to make it like a long form thing, but it takes time. Bye, Emily. Take care. Bye bye. Thanks for coming by. Speaking of the FPV, I've actually like kind of put out my feelers, and there are other VAs interested in potentially voicing characters in it. So I want to try and take advantage of that, and I may be handing off some roles to other people, like Amaranth, Crow, Robin, and all that. I'm still gonna voice them, but Raven might get a voice soon. There will be other characters and creatures that will also hopefully be voiced by VAs that I'm friends with. So, but I'm still trying to plan that out, and I gotta ask if they're okay with me posting it on YouTube and stuff. But yeah, like I'll probably because I do plan on monetizing stuff eventually. So they will definitely get a cut, even if I don't make a lot of money off of it. But I want to make sure they're compensated, you know. And thank you. I'm very, very glad that you guys like it. I personally love like anything sort of like paranormal and like with creatures and all that. The whole veil thing is partially kind of nabbed from Dragon Age and everything. It's not entirely the same concept, but by the way, I used to write monster smut, and I sadly don't know how to pronounce your username. I'm very sorry, but about the romance question, there will be romance. I have yet to decide who exactly will be the main love interest. I have seen people really excited about Crow, the character. There's still gonna be like also like quote unquote canon art for the characters. I will post it in a place where you don't accidentally get confronted with it, because I know that some people prefer like their own idea of the characters. But you know, that will eventually be up. What was I saying? God, I'm sorry. But yeah, there will be a romance, because I do like romances and stuff. Just not sure who will be the object of the listener's desire. That was awful, I'm sorry. Okay, I was about to say, like, I haven't been in school in a minute. You're asking the wrong person. It also depends on where exactly you're from, because it changes. What was I gonna do? Also, sorry for the clicking in the background. I am looking at some stuff. Excuse me. I also still need to make a mood board for the finale of the Mafia series. Yes, Amaranth is the other succubus. The one with the British accent and the slight reverb on her voice. Hi, new educated yoke. I am not from the US of A. I am from Europe. I'm glad to see that there's a fair few Europeans present, apparently. Because this community is very America-centric, which means that I unfortunately miss out on a lot of stuff that happens in Discord servers and all that. I've made my peace with it. It sucks, but you know, it is what it is. I will give that away, if you please, what the final color will be. But it is blue. The final color is blue. Sorry, just the all caps gay in the middle of chat. Excusez-moi, Zoe. I speak it a smidge French. I understand it better than I speak it. I technically have to be able, well, have is a big word. I should be able to speak French for my IRL. I am not French. Where did you get that from? I don't even speak French. Well, je parle un petit peu de français, mais c'est... And I was gonna cuss, but like, I've been cussing all night. Why am I suddenly censoring myself? Vivian, you are very confusing, I'm sorry to say. And yeah, blue can indeed go a lot of directions. Oui, oui, baguette, ho ho ho. Nope. Well, I didn't get to pick the colors. They were already predetermined. I'm just following what the scriptwriter wrote. It was a wonderful Snooza with 4 O's on Reddit. I highly suggest you check out her stuff. Yeah, it is blue. Red, black, gold, blue. Hold on, I'm just gonna read this out loud. If you're gonna make me say something like naughty or mean, but c'est vraiment pas mauvais comme français. I give up. No, I did script that. It's actually in all the descriptions. It is written by Snooza, like I said previously. Shout out to her and her wonderful talent for this. Oh, Body, I'm just gonna call you Body, I'm very sorry. It is going to be a lot. It's gonna take a lot of editing and sound effects, and it's going to hurt. That is all I'm gonna say. It's going to hurt. I'm just vibing with the music. By the way, in case you're wondering, it's that lo-fi hip-hop radio beats to relax and study to playlist. Vivian, I feel that. I got French lessons for like 8 years and even took like voluntary classes as an adult. I still just cannot. French and I, we don't get along. God, I should like if I would do that if it wouldn't get copyright stricken. Oh, maybe I should make like a playlist for the two, for Frankie and Birdie. That would be cute. Ah, merde alors! Sorry. I burned my hand while I was cooking for lunch, and I burned my finger pretty bad. And I'm fucking around with an elastic, and without thinking, I tied the elastic around my middle finger. That sucked. It's at this point, it's just like a blister, but you know. Anyway, back on topic. I could put together a playlist for Frankie and Birdie. That would be cute. I'm gonna do that, I think. What should be like mostly Frank Sinatra. Also, I apologize in advance for my music taste. It is something. Yeah, Zoe, I know. It's ironic that the dialect I speak has a lot of French words, even though I do not speak French itself. Oh no, non-existent, I'm sorry. But I get that all the time, like, I'll start talking or I'll start writing, and then, like, mid-sentence, I completely forget what the original point was. Or I have a really bad memory. Also, another thing that I kind of want to do, and I'll probably just keep to Reddit considering the nature of it, is narrate a Chuck Tingle book. And in case you're unfamiliar with Chuck Tingle, he's the absolute genius that gave us those really wild smut novels of like Pounded in the Butt by like a Dell computer, that kind of stuff. Because I think it would be really funny. Ich bin nicht Französisch, also kann ich es nicht lesen. I understood that. I don't care, girl, or something like that. I am not French, and I cannot read it. Am I right? But yeah, I really want to. I just am not sure which Chuck Tingle book I will do. I should follow him on Twitter. He's hilarious. But I do think that would be really funny. I actually have no idea why the word smut is used. I just use it because it's, you know, I got used to it because of fanfic terms. I'm actually gonna Google that. Hold on. Some fun clicky keyboards. Hold on. The name is related to smut, a 16th century verb meaning to smudge or to blacken, and it has given rise to the noun smut, a stain or soot. The word's underlying notions of decay or darkness double as a metaphor for indecent or obscene content, especially that type of language in early history. So it just is like an old-fashioned term to soil something. Now you know. Lara, yeah, it is evening where I am currently. It is currently 9 p.m. Yeah, my character speaks in keyboard. It just picks up whenever noise happens, and sometimes that means that my character talks when I am quiet. Hold on, let me do some more keyboard ASMR. There you go. What I wrote to the world may never know. Yeah. Sapphic is from Sappho, who wrote some of the most heart-wrenching lesbian poetry, in my opinion. Though according to some sources, she was married to a man, but his name basically translates to the modern equivalent of Manly McMahon. So people are saying that that might have been just like a fake name to like get people to leave her alone. God, I wouldn't even know how to set that up non-existent. Like, OBS is a nightmare, like, plainly. I've, like, when I tried to set it up for Twitch, because I initially wanted to stream on Twitch, but considering recent events and the way they, like, treat their partners and all that, I know. I tried to get, like, chat on screen and everything. Nightmare! Freaking nightmare! Oh, but why don't you use Streamlabs? Because it's even worse. I honestly, like, I have a friend who streams on Twitch, and maybe I should ask them for advice, but my pride gets in the way. Hi, Emmy. Welcome. What was I going to do? I completely forgot. I'm sorry. Oh, I gotta sneeze. I envy those people who can like sneeze by looking into bright lights because that stuff doesn't work for me and I'll be stuck with a sneeze and have no way to remedy it. It's annoying. Ugh. Though it would seem like something really bothersome if you're like at the dentist and like that light is shining in your eyes and you just have to sneeze while someone is like prodding around at your teeth. Imagine joining the stream now. Also, entirely unrelated, but I have a bunch of post-it notes on my wall. And you're thinking, Crow, why are you bringing this up? Well, I did a Twitter, like, jokey joke prompt thingy where people could leave a comment and I would write it on a sticky note and put it on the wall. And majority of it is really sweet and, like, really kind of like, you're a good person, blah, 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 blah. One of them just says, come. Sapphic is just basically any non-man who has feelings for non-men. It also, I believe, in cases non-binary people and stuff like that. But it is basically just like another way of saying women loving women as well. It's a more like, I think it's a prettier way of saying lesbian or women loving women. Apparently there's also like a male version for that. I think it's like Achillean, which is really cool. And again, don't quote me on that. I'm not a font of LGBTQ knowledge, despite the fact that I am at least 2 different flavors of LGBTQ. It does feel more mature than lesbian, and I personally, like, I will use the term lesbian for myself because, you know, it is what I am, but that word has, like, been tainted for me because of, like, it being a porn category, which makes me feel kind of icky, so I prefer referring to myself as sapphic. Yeah, like, lesbian also, like, people immediately know what you mean. When you say sapphic, there will be people that's like, what does that mean? I don't know that word. Also, stupid question. Never mind. Let's drop the question and focus on what Miss Bamboozle Batch said, because that was unintentional, really. But I can see why that would be. That was unintentional, but I really like that it can be read like that. Well, I guess can bisexuals use that term? I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna upset people if I voice my opinion on things. Hold on, let me Google that. I cannot type. Well, excuse me. Well, I suppose bisexuals to some degree can also call themselves sapphic because there is attraction towards women. I don't know, it's like one of those things that people will debate about ad nauseum. I personally feel like it's more if your attraction is solely aimed towards women, but that is just my own opinion. I don't speak for a whole community of people. Because I have gotten in heated discussions about sexualities and stuff like that. Because there was this brief blip in time where like people were trying to make bisexual lesbians a thing, and I'm sorry to break it to you, but that is not a thing. That I will take flack for if necessary. Bisexual lesbians do not exist. That is not a thing. It's always sexual. Yeah, like, I'm not sure what they were trying to achieve with the whole bisexual lesbian thing. I think it was like, I feel like it might have been a misinterpretation of compulsory heterosexuality, and in case you're unfamiliar with that, compulsory heterosexuality is when a queer person still feels like the attraction they're quote unquote supposed to feel. For example, for the longest time, I thought I had crushes on men, and I've even had a boyfriend in the past because I felt like that was normal, and I thought I was bisexual for a really long time until I really sat down, confronted my feelings, read the Lesbian Master Doc, and came to the conclusion that the feelings I had towards men were not the way they're supposed to be, and were not like actual romantic feelings or sexual desire and stuff like that. It was just I felt those things because I felt like I had to. But when I compared those feelings I had towards men to the feelings I have for women, entirely different story. Also, if you haven't read the Lesbian Master Doc and you're like debating about your sexuality, that thing is like so good. But I feel like it might have been like a misinterpretation of that specific phenomena. Because in my book, and again, I'll take any flack I get for this, but in my book, you cannot be a lesbian and have attraction towards men. Sorry to say. Vivian, I can try. I'm not gonna make things political. Talks about a really divisive subject in the LGBTQ community. No, that's fair. My girlfriend had a brief blip of like debating whether or not she was bisexual or lesbian. She read the Lesbian Master Doc and basically came to a conclusion like, yeah, no, that was compulsory heterosexuality. Hi, Nicola. Bisexual, not lesbian or straight. Well, that's a good question, and I feel like it's also different for everyone. Buddy, that is like entirely valid. You're just vibing, coasting through life. I respect that. But Vivian, back on your question. Yeah, like Bamboozle is saying, it is very much as like examining the way you feel about people. Like, do you feel a strong attraction towards men, towards women, towards both? What are these feelings like? Is one more intenser than the other? Is one, are you sure it's like desire or like attraction, or is it just because you think you need to feel these things? It pays to like read up on things and to examine your own feelings and stuff. It's difficult to do, and sexuality is also very fluid. Like, it could be that you may think like, oh no, I'm bisexual, I do feel attraction towards men, and then later in life you're like, I don't know, maybe I'm not entirely. And then there's also the topic of like being asexual or aromantic, which are also valid things to be. Yeah, same, Bamboozle. I had a boyfriend before I met my current partner. Well, we'd known each other for a very long time. And in retrospect, it's very much like, yeah, no, I did that because I felt like I had to. He was very nice, though. And I'm glad that I, knew him and I was friends with him and stuff like that. But I hope he's better where he's at currently. Queer is also a very good word to use. I know that some people don't like it because of its, very negative connotations in history, but I feel like queer is just like a good word to use for myself. Like, it can mean anything, and I like that. And yeah, like I said, I am a moderator of GWA Sapphic, and unfortunately we do get the occasional very vitriolic comments about trans women. And I want to clarify, trans women are women. Trans lesbians are welcome in the lesbian community. They're our sisters, not our enemies. And if you have a problem with trans women being in the community, then you are the problem. They are not. Oh, sorry. The upstairs neighbor activities. The whole reclaiming slurs thing, I like it to some degree. There's personally words that I wouldn't use myself that I technically can use because I'm on the spectrum, most likely. Still trying to get an official diagnosis, and I am queer, so there are words that I can use, but I personally just prefer not to use them. But if you want to do that, power to you. Non-existent, you're fine. This is a welcoming space. I feel like people should have the chance to talk about these things in a place where they feel safe and where they feel like they're being listened to. So if you want to talk more about it, you're very free to do so. In my language, we do have them. And I, again, also prefer not to use them if I can. Of course I can. What am I saying? Can you tell I'm tired? I've also made like 2 tweets in recent days that got at least one guy mad at me. And that was that I like the terms trap and futa are like transphobic terms and have, in trap's case, cost trans women's lives. And some guy got mad at me and said that trap didn't like do anything bad to the trans community. Like, buddy boy, shut the fuck up. Anyway, 7 deadly sins. My native language is Dutch. Don't ask me to speak it though, because I'm not gonna. Also, back on that guy for a sec. Me and another voice actor were arguing to him about this, and we were showing like a Reddit thread about trans women talking about their experience with the word, and I linked a blog post and like an article of sorts, and he kept saying those aren't real sources, those aren't real sources. Want to know his source on how the word trap wasn't transphobic? I'm not from the Netherlands, Vivian. Sorry, that was aggressive. I'm sorry. Want to know his source for that word? Urban Dictionary, a thing that literally anyone can edit. I am not from the Netherlands. We're gonna leave it at that. Yeah, like the Urban Dictionary thing literally had me cackling. I was reading that whole thread like before I went to work, and like I just sat there like, is this guy for real? He has to be joking, right? I love that, Bat. I love that. That like yes. Non-existent. They're talking about slurs. I know that there are also slurs in my native language that are just used very willy-nilly. Is that even a way you say it? And I find it very uncomfortable, but at this point, trying to combat people using that is a very uphill battle. I know there aren't a lot of Dutch-speaking countries, but again, I don't want to like tell everyone with ears where I'm from. It's not hard to find out if you go looking for it, but it doesn't need to be like something I rub in people's faces 24/7. Because the problem is the country I live in, small, and if I say too much, people will find me pretty easily. And that is not to anyone listening, that is not a challenge. Do not go find me. Thank you very much. Ow. Yeah, on the guy again for a minute. If you went to his likes, it basically told you everything. I didn't say I was from Netherlands. I said I spoke Dutch. Not that I am Dutch. Sorry, that sounded mean. I'm really sorry. Um, but like I said, on the guy, his Twitter likes told you basically everything you need to know. He was liking people making the same arguments as him, and there was not safe for work art of that one pink-haired guy from, all I'm gonna say is Monster Camp, and you probably know who I'm talking about. Um, no, Vivian, please. That is not funny. That is not cute or quirky. That makes me very uncomfortable. Also, Amy, sorry I missed your comment, but thank you very much. I should really like find a moderator for my chat, especially if more people are gonna start showing up. Only 7 billion, just like a small 7 billion. And like I said about my location, it's not a secret where I'm from, but you like fishing to get me to say it, even though I've said like I don't want to, is really uncomfortable. So I'm gonna kindly ask you to stop it. Thank you. Apology accepted. Also, it's not because of what just happened, but I'm gonna round off in about 10-ish minutes because I already streamed longer than I intended, and I do have some stuff that still needs to get done before tomorrow, so we'll give it another 10-ish minutes, and then it's time to say bye-bye. But I do want to try and stream more often because I actually really enjoy hanging out with you guys and getting to talk to you. Yeah, I'm from Boston. The accent, absolutely fucking natural. Oh, that was awful. I'm so sorry if any Bostonians are listening. Zoe, you're fine. Just vibing to the music right now. Also, I commissioned an artist for some like wintry some wintry art of Crow, like the character, the one you see on screen, who is also named. I should really get more creative with my names. But I commissioned some cute wintry art of her in like a big sweater, and I'm very excited to start using that. It's not a model like the one I'm using right now. It's just some cute art. Miss Bamboozle, thank you. Yeah, like my audience for Reddit and Twitter, Reddit and YouTube doesn't seem to have a big crossover, and I don't necessarily mind that. But it's kind of fun to know that I'm like known for different things in different places. And I do pride myself in the quality of my work. My pronouns are she, her, and they, them. I use both. And like I put a lot of like I'm very proud of the quality of my work. I try my best to make it like as good as possible. For my birthday, I even got me like a high quality, like a pretty good mic, just so I could make better content. And sure, I will put the link to the Twitter artist who made my model in the chat in a minute because they deserve all the credit. They also stream on Twitch, by the way. Highly suggest you go check them out. They are very talented, and I think they're taking commissions right. Oh no, they aren't anymore. They already closed their commissions. But if you have the chance to, absolutely go commission them. They are more than worth it. Could you tell I was stalling? Well, it changes. Like, I'm fine with she, her, I'm fine with they, them. You just say whatever. Thank you. I'm really glad that people do appreciate everything that goes into it. Oh, I hope you have fun, Zoe. Bye-bye. I like posting like screenshots of some of my like edited videos because the timeline gets a little crazy. I'll see if I can share one because I do have the terrible habit of not saving those necessarily. Hold on. I have one on Twitter, like a screenshot that I could share. If I can find it, because I post too many dang pictures. Gosh, where is it? Where is it? I think that was on my laptop too. My laptop was not happy with me when I was editing that. Not happy at all. But my sibling has helped me build a computer that is very gay. That's the only way I could say it. Uh-huh. Here's one. I think I should two even. Bye-bye. Oh gosh, hold on. Sorry for keeping you guys waiting. I am anything but organized. Well, that's a lie. In some aspects, I'm obscenely organized. In others, I'm literally a disaster. Okay. Sure, let's do it like this. The least intuitive way to do anything. Okay. Let's grab this from my picture folder. This was my wildest looking timeline in a minute. I believe this was the second episode of the SPV where like 3 characters were talking. I'm gonna keep it up for a little bit longer so you can revel in this absolute lunacy. My laptop was sounding like it was about to take flight. And this was done with my really annoyingly terrible mic. Because before the one I'm currently using, which is a Blue Yeti, I had like a cheap mic that I got off of our version of Amazon, because up until recent we didn't have Amazon. And it would only record if I held it in one very specific way. And it was a nightmare to record anything with. And not all of those are recordings. The top 3 timelines you could see were my voice. The rest were sound effects. Or you could see the time when I was editing the 20th to 22nd of July. There is another one that is less stacked, I guess. Which one was this? Oh, this is a bit of a teaser, I suppose. Because I also have audios, like exclusive ones, on Quinn, which is a Not Safe for Work audio streaming platform. And this was the editing for that. Let me go take a peek and make sure I grab the right one. Higher quality. But that is the timeline for that audio. I also love naming my tracks in ways that entertain me. Also, Ray, thank you very, very much. It's okay. I'm gonna stream again in the future. Hopefully at a time where it is more convenient for you to hang out. Love you too. And there it goes. Excuse me. And I think I am going to round off. I'm going to leave the stream going for a little bit longer so you guys can chat a little bit amongst each other, but I am going to call it here. Thank you all very much for coming out, and hopefully we can hang out again soon. See you sometime in the future.